this morning and just giving us the time. I know you're so busy. You wear a lot of hats, so just first of all, thank you for being here and taking your time.
Well, thanks for asking me. There's so many good things to talk about, so I'm excited.
There is this exciting year, so that kind of gets me to my first question.
Okay.
So Tennessee has been deemed an everything school.
Yes.
What does that exactly mean?
So to me, it started in athletics, okay, but it means the same thing for the rest of us. We're trying to achieve excellence in everything we do. My view is if we can't do it at a level of excellence, I don't think it's worth doing. And so you see in athletics, for example, last year, we were the only Power 4 school that competed in postseason competition in every sport. That is saying a lot. I've been at schools where we didn't have any postseason competition except maybe one sport. And so we have 20 sports. That's an achievement. But it's the same way for the whole campus. We're we've got really kind of three big goals. We want to have an unparalleled student experience, which I think we do have. If you go ask those mothers and fathers who are moving their kids in, they'd say, they wouldn't use those words, but that's why they're here. They've heard all about it. And the other thing is we have really, really done a great job in research. We want to boom that much higher. And we have a national reputation in athletics. So we're leveraging those strengths and trying to achieve a level of excellence in everything we do.
And talking about leveraging those strengths, I mean, how do you keep the momentum in athletics, student life, academics, and
student success.
Research.
Yeah, and research. So if you think about athletics, we have a fantastic athletic director who I've delegated all that to him. I don't get in his business. He calls me and brings me, I meet with him regularly, and if he has a question, he'll text me. Some days I may hear from him 2 or 3 times a day, then I won't hear from him for a week. He's in charge, he's got that. All the rest of the campus, I think we're all moving in the same direction. That's a really important part of it for all of us to be aligned. So if you look at student life and student success, let's take those two. We've jumped our numbers in retention incredibly in just a few years. And I just saw, I can't share exactly what they are, but our 4-year graduation rate has jumped also. That's really, so retention is coming back from year 1 to 2, and that's all about getting to graduation. We want students to come here and graduate faster. So all of us are working towards the same idea, which is kind of moving the university to the next level. And in research, it means we've done a terrific job with the resources we had given to research. Now we need more resources. And so we've got a plan for investing and really taking that to the next level.
It kind of brings me to another question. You know, there was a 0 increase on tuition this year. What was your thought process in that decision?
Higher education costs too much, period, across the country. And I want to be really, really careful. We've only raised tuition once since I've been here. And we raised fees a little bit. I appreciate you asking the question that way because it kind of gets lumped into one number sometimes. Like sometimes I saw in the newspaper, tuition fees only going up 0.4%. Well, it was 2 fees, each of which totaled something like $60. But we have to watch. It's expensive for families to send kids to college. I feel that responsibility. And so I don't want to just raise it because, well, it's another year we can. So we're really conservative on that. And I'm proud of that. Now, the fees, it's hard for people to understand, but if you have a fee for transportation, okay, why would we raise that? We've now got 33 buses that are taking people everywhere. We used to have just, a handful kind of. So there are real costs associated with some of those fee adjustments, but I'm proud of not raising tuition. So.
And with that 0 increase in tuition, is that growth sustainable?
That's a great question. Depends on what happens in the economy, the inflation and all that kind of stuff. What I think is sustainable is a commitment to being efficient. And before we raise tuition again, I want to make sure that we are using the state dollars we get in the most effective and efficient way. So before we just jump to a tuition increase, we're going to be looking at all sorts of things. We'll continue to do that every year.
Now, is this something the university is seeing? Are students struggling to meet tuitions?
Well, I think if you read media across the country, it's tough. Here we are overwhelmed with applications, so you could say, well, the demand here is so great. it doesn't seem to be that big of a problem. And we are proud of the fact that almost 50% of our students graduate with no debt. My goal is for that to be about 95%. I don't think taking out loans is the smartest thing in the world. If we can help students do that, get the resources they need other ways, like student jobs, work study, instead of taking out a loan that then you're going to have to pay back.
And the University of Tennessee is growing.
Yes.
There's a lot of new buildings for this semester.
You've noticed.
Yes, I've noticed. I've heard too.
Yeah.
What is that going to look like, and what's that going to impact students in the future?
Well, okay, so just for example, we hit a ceiling a few years ago on how many students we could admit because we didn't have enough beds. Do you remember the year we were renting out Holiday Inn? We were grateful for that. We, through the help of Randy Boyd, got permission from the legislature to build buildings a different way, dorms. And so we opened 3 new buildings this fall that were built by a private developer. And so if you stop and think about it, we don't have the debt for those buildings on our books. And in exchange, they put the money up, they build the building, they own it, they do the maintenance on it, and we ensure them that there will be revenue. Students need places, to sleep and to have the, make their friends and all that. So and in 40 years, the building is given to us. So we think it's brilliant, and they did it in 20 months' time. We broke ground, and 20 months later, we were down there Sunday starting ushering in families in those buildings. So I'm really proud of that. We will continue to approach auxiliary dorms that way. That's the way we're going to continue to try to build them.
And with more dorms, parking's always been an issue. It's always a concern.
Yes.
Now, what is the university doing to address this issue, and can students look forward to anything this academic year that maybe will mitigate the problem?
Here's some things we're doing. I'm so glad. Usually I don't like getting questions about parking because I don't have a good answer. I have a great answer for you this year. So for the first time, we said to new students, we really discourage you from bringing a car. And if you bring one, you may be able to get a permit that will be peripheral parking, edges, off campus, the edge of campus, because we're prioritizing commuters, sophomores, juniors, seniors, who are driving in and need a place to come. At the same time, we're trying to find other ways to transport people. So for example, we have an arrangement with the city for the convention center. That's becoming really popular. You can park there, and there are buses running like about every 7 minutes to bring people over here, thus more buses that we needed. We've added buses that go directly to the ag campus. They were having to come here, change, and go over there. So we're trying to look at all different ways to address it. And why are we hesitant to build another parking garage? They're really expensive, and you'd have to charge so much to pay for it that it wouldn't make sense. Here's some things we're adding this year. I hope before this semester's over, we're going to be offering gift cards for Uber. We're working on an arrangement with Uber where kids who were on the waiting list, residential kids who wanted spaces, didn't get it, are going to be given a gift card for Uber. We're also working on an arrangement with Enterprise Car Rental that we will have cars here that students can rent. And I'm told it's going to be very easy, like an app on your phone, you swipe the car, you've made all the arrangements, you can rent it for 2 hours, 2 days. So we're thinking about it as mobility as opposed to parking. And because a lot of young people say, well, the main reason I want a car on campus is so I can go home on the weekend. Well, we can solve the go home on the weekend problem a different way than somebody taking up a spot on campus that they don't move the car really until every 3rd or 4th weekend. So that's how we're thinking about it. And I'm really excited about that. I'm proud of the creativity that those folks in parking and transportation and administration have showed. So stay tuned on that.
And it sounds like you guys have been having to think outside the box. This has not been done before.
Correct.
Why is it so important to have that innovative thinking into the parking?
Well, so the parking and car mobility thing is just an example of how, we got a lot of smart people that work here, And if we just keep doing things the way we've always done them, new problems arise and we don't address them. So there's never just one solution to a problem. I used to teach decision making. That's one of the first things we said. There's always multiple alternatives. And the best decision makers are people who consider, like I don't want just a solution. I want, what are 2 or 3 ways we could solve this problem that are different? And see, I think it can be, you can get to much more effective solutions. So I'm pushing on people in every aspect of the university. Let's think differently about how we address the issues that face us. So I think that's, as soon as we get that going, it's not quite, we haven't notified the students like, here's your $50, but that's coming. And so I'm proud of that, and I want that to become a model for how to do things differently. Sometimes we just get stuck. We come to work, do the same thing we've done for years, staff, people, they haven't been asked to do anything differently. One of the things that's different now is we're asking staff all throughout the organization, put on your thinking hat, help us figure out how to do things in a better way. And I'm excited about where that can take us.
Because it all goes back to the everything school. You have to think creatively to be an everything school.
And I don't know of any other universities that are trying this around mobility. And when we get that bridge across, now that'll be way after you've left here, but the bridge across the river, that's going to be another example for students. They can live over there, park over there, ride their bike across, or walk across. And they're still getting here. They don't need a parking space. And I think about in years past, like the first week of school, remember how bad that always is? I would look outside my office at lot 10 and just see these cars going. They all went there. And there were spaces. All those years when we had the problems, we knew there are spaces in other lots, but you don't want to park there. So we're just trying to attack it in a more creative way. And I think that's the way we should think about everything.
And do you think that the south side of when that pedestrian bridge is being built, how do you think that will overall impact the University of Tennessee?
I think it's expand options for students to where they live, where they play. There are going to be parks over there. It connects to some of the wilderness recreational abilities that are offered, the capacity that's offered here. I think it's just going to open up the city and open up the university. We don't know yet what all is going to be built over there, but every day you can look and see a lot of housing. That's not us building it. So that's another example of you open up access and then good things happen that help students. So we don't have to do everything ourselves, if you know what I mean.
I'm sure it's a lot of pressure. I mean, we are deemed an everything school. What is that like as you're in your leadership role?
Right. Well, we think about that as my team, I call them my cabinet. It's a group of about 11 vice chancellors, and we meet every other week. And we think about that. And the vice chancellor and athletic director, Danny White, is on that cabinet. And we just try to be as aligned as we can. And we're all trying to move this university to more prominence, not just in the state, but nationally. And I think when you see all those applications we have, people all over the country know about Tennessee. Some of it comes from 143 million viewers, I think we had last year, of sports. But when you're looking at a university and a sporting event, you're thinking about, okay, where is that? University of Tennessee, that bright orange? Oh, that's in Knoxville. Is that the same as Nashville? I mean, people just start thinking, oh, I know somebody, a neighbor of mine, their daughter went there. Like what? And so it just takes off. That's where we are right now. Incredible momentum. And so I just want us to take advantage of the momentum that we have.
Great. And we've talked a lot about the growth of UT.
Right.
But with the everything school, is there a specific reason why there's more buildings? Is it because we're an everything school? Is it because we have to grow?
So we want, let's just take nursing for example. We're opening up that new nursing building. The facility they had was not just too small, but it was inadequate for the way you teach nursing. Like nursing, I've learned a lot about this as we've built this building, and I've had 2 tours of it. Nursing is best taught hands-on. So our nursing curriculum involves a lot of mannequins. Some of them can talk to you and say things like, ouch, or, so students learn how to take blood pressure. They learn so many things actually doing it. So a lot of it is mannequins. They also have actors. So they've got all these spaces in this new building that look like a hospital wing or looks like a doctor's office. And they even have real actors. So I understand it's retired people that they pay low, $15 an hour or something to come and act out a script. I don't feel well. This is what's been happening with me. And so they learn by doing. That takes a special kind of facility. We now have it in that building. So it's not just growth. It is changing the way we teach things. Our nurses, I believe, will be way better qualified for jobs when they get out of here than a lot. Now, there are a lot of jobs in nursing, so we have a shortage. But I think they're going to have their choice of where they want to go. And if you think about, we're going to have a new chemistry building and a new business school. All those are underway right now. New academic success center. Why would we build a building for student success? You could ask that question. Right now, student success includes advisors, academic coaches, career services, tutors. They're all over campus. And right now they're actually in some of our oldest, most rundown places. And so if we're serious about an unparalleled student success or student experience, we need a bright, cheerful, positive, supportive environment where students there will be classrooms in that building, a few. And in a lot of the classrooms, I understand we're going to teach in that new building the classes that the kids need tutors, or so that they can walk right out of a class, I'm making this up, chemistry, whatever, and say, I don't think I understood that lecture. They can go right into their academic strengths coach and say, I didn't understand a thing that happened in that class today. Where can I go, and is there a group I could be part of? All right there. So that's why we're doing it. We're doing it because we've set a priority in student success. We don't admit people that we think will have trouble getting to graduation. If they have trouble, it's because they haven't found the resources that are available here. So we're going to have them all in one place, beautiful building right near the library, and I'm super excited about that. And we're spending our own we've set aside and saved for that. So we didn't go ask the state for those dollars. Now, what does that say? That says it's a huge priority for this campus. So I think the buildings reflect our aspirations. We want to be the everything school. We want to move this university to the next level. And you can't do it with all rundown buildings where the pipes are leaking, and so it's going to take us a while to get there. But check back in 2 years, some of these buildings will be finished. Haslam should be finished in a couple years. Chemistry will probably take another year. We have 8,000 students that use that chemistry building, that old one. So, and it's we're just hoping it lasts until we get the new one built.
Is there anything that I have not asked you today that you would just like to talk to students about and let viewers know at the volunteer?
Yeah, so what I want to say to the students is, you came here in part because you've heard a lot of great things about this place, but I also know you came here because you want to be a volunteer. I want you to pay attention to what that really means. To me, it means two things. We're going to do torch night on Sunday night, and the new students are going to make their commitment to be a volunteer, which means to step forward, to lead, and to serve. That's what distinguishes students who graduate from here. You can get an accounting degree anywhere. I think we do it better here, but you can get your degree, but you don't have the opportunity to get all this support for being a volunteer. The world needs more volunteers. You all are just amazing. Our students are just, I just love being around students. That's why I get the golf cart out and go out sometimes and ask students what are your top 5 strengths. And if they know, I oftentimes give them a gift card for ham and goodies. And if they don't, I go, okay, next time, you need to know them. So I just love what we're doing that. And the students who come here come because they want to work hard and they want to be a volunteer. So I would say to students, step up to the plate and take big swings. I'm taking big swings, and I want the students to do that too.